Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today, our webinar is a little different than usual. So usually we have kind of like one big overarching topic that we are covering, but today we're actually going to do it like on a whole bunch of little things. So I've got 10 actually little things that have changed in inFlow over the past like year and a bit, I guess, whatever. Some of these are very noticeable changes, some of them are not, and some of them are kind of constantly evolving, like the program itself. So it's even cool for us because I mean we don't use the program the exact same way as you. I mean on the sports side here, which we're all from, we're testing things day in day out. We're seeing all the problems, we're seeing the different things like that, but we're not actually doing like the stock counts or the actual sales day to day. So yeah, one thing I will say, I'm going to be trying to show everything as much as I can, kind of thing. So I will pull it up all on the screen and everything. And again, if anyone else is actually new to inFlow, then this may just be cool little like things that you might not have known that inFlow could do. We use all of our customers' feedback actually to kind of try and help shape the way we build the program and stuff like that. So if you have feedback or suggestions or things that you wish inFlow can do, you either send them to us at support anytime, like email us support@inflowinventory.com. You can toss them in the chat. We'll record those and pass them on to the team as well too. So yeah, hopefully this will be some fun. So today's topics, as I said, we got 10 kind of different topics. Again, we'll see kind of how long they all take. They're all, again, kind of cool little changes that you may or may not have noticed over the time. Most of these are going to be having to do with the web app. So this is actually originally inFlow Cloud just started with the Windows desktop program, and then we evolved to having the web app, which is now kind of hopefully going to be our shining star going forward. That's where we want all of the big new shiny features and everything to be, so that everyone can use it. The Windows users, the Mac users, the Linux users, Chromebooks, like anything like that. Whereas the Windows program is a little more restricted. It's also harder to develop for and stuff like that. And I mean, Marcos, I'm sure can attest to how many issues we have with people like installing it and stuff like that. So
Oh,
the
yeah. Yeah. Even updating. Sometimes even
yes,
updating. So,
updating, installing the web app, you don't have to do that as long as you got Chrome, Safari, Firefox, whatever. Then
exactly.
you can use it. Um, so yeah, we'll go over all of these in more detail as we can go. Oh, and I see Justin already shouting out custom reports. Yay! um, Well, actually, I see a whole bunch
Oh,
of people with a whole bunch of things. So, all right. So yeah, the first thing that we're going to look at is the new sales order and purchase order lists. This is probably something that if you've used the web app, you would notice has changed because it's kind of a more in-your-face big change there. But basically, one of the big things is that we added 3 new tabs that will automatically be opened when you go to either your sales orders or your purchase orders. So these are open, unpaid, or all. In sales orders, we actually have a new thing called order prioritization. As well, again, some kind of small changes. The PO field is always going to show in sales orders, where used to you had to turn on the shipping for it to show. And we added the quantity available to show in the picker, which wasn't there before. So we can actually show this off really quick here. So I'm already logged into my account. I'm on my sales order list, so we can go into that. And you'll already notice that we have, so again, these are the 3 tabs we're talking about that we see up here at the top. We've got open, unpaid, and all. These are essentially kind of default filters that apply to your actual sales orders on here. So it's kind of like just setting any of these different statuses that you can filter any of your orders from. The open is the main one that we come to. So this is, again, the main idea is kind of you most likely when you're going in, you want to see the things that you need to work on right away, which would probably be any of your open orders. So they haven't been fulfilled. They may or may not have been paid. So you're still seeing all your totals and everything like that. Again, seeing unpaid orders, you can then see all of the ones that still have a balance, and we show the balance on there. Or you can still find all of your orders, which will then, we've got this nice little status here on the side that you can see. So you can still see if it's unfulfilled, fulfilled, or paid, or anything like that. But that's not all. So in the open tab here, you'll actually notice we have a new column. So we got these cool little stars here on the side. And you can actually, if you star something, it will kind of push it to the top. You'll see this cool little yellow line on the side too, so that's kind of showing that it's been prioritized, as well as these dots here. So these dots are actually a way that you can drag to reorganize your orders itself. So on here, I'm a big superhero fan. If anyone's been in a webinar with me before, you'll have seen all my nice my nice superhero products and stuff like that. But we can see here that Bruce Wayne, so Batman has a big order here, which it's actually showing that my stock is available for it. So if I actually go into it, we can look. He's ordering a new Batmobile, so that's cool. He's getting another one. But if we look at the next order for Dick Grayson, which is actually Robin or one of the Robins, we can see that we're waiting on stock for something, and he's actually ordered the Batmobile as well. So here we're actually giving you kind of with your prioritized stuff, it's telling you whether you can fulfill it or not. But if we want to change the prioritization, so Bruce Wayne's a billionaire, he can probably wait for a little bit. If I drag Dick Grayson's order up, then it's actually going to recalculate and recheck to see how much stock I have. And now it's actually saying, so we've got enough to fulfill Dick Grayson's order there, and we'll have to wait on stock then for Bruce Wayne. So again, this is just something that's supposed to be there that you can use to help prioritize and help shift around your orders to make things a little faster and easier.
Yeah, it's one of those little things that we made just to make the workflow for you quicker and easier to attain certain results. So you wouldn't have to check the availability of something just to change it. If the order gets prioritized to go before some other order, it will just do the calculation itself. Even the little tabs, again, it's what our customers or most of you told us that would be the most necessary would be to have the open ones to know what needs to go out and the unpaid ones just to to check if anything is missing from your clients. And of course you need the ability to check all of them. So that's what we had in mind when we made these changes. So
For
that
sure.
everything would be quicker and easier for you guys.
Yeah, no, and yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. And so yeah, so kind of quickly going over those other little changes. So on here, if I can find it, there we go. So we've got the PO number on here. We know this is an important field to everyone. It used to be that it was hidden by default if I didn't have shipping turned on, and so you had to actually turn on shipping. So we have now made this by default that this will always show, and that change also actually reflects in the Windows app too, which is cool. So I'll just open up an order on here too. And so, yeah, so the PO number field will show on there whether you have shipping on or off, which is fantastic. And then again, that other kind of small change in the field now here, when you click on your quantity, it'll actually show the quantity available, the on hand and on order that you can actually see right in there. So again, we can kind of see that
Yo. Sorry. Oh, you could hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I think he's just testing his mic there to see if the volume and stuff is going okay. But yeah, so we're now showing this by default as well. So hopefully it will make when you're ordering things a little bit easier. Now, this is also going off of the location that you have set in your sales order, so it's going to be showing you those values based on that. Also, just another quick thing kind of to keep in mind. So on here, you can see I have 4 sales orders that are open. When I search, if I'm searching for like sales order 29 or something like that, the filters and everything will still work. However, if I go to all, then you may actually be able to like find more orders or anything like that. So like if I'm only searching for 2, I'll be able to see all the fulfilled and stuff, whereas I'm only going to see these ones here. So the filters do apply per tab. So again, like if I wanted to find just order 2 specifically or anything, I would have to go to my all tab because it was already fulfilled, and that way I can find it and see it there. And even when you're on the all tab, you can also kind of see the prioritized ones there that have the little yellow line at the side. So just to make things a little easier. We'll quickly show. So again, the purchase order screen has gotten the same treatment. So you've got the 3 tabs at the top. Again, just to make things nice and easy. We don't have that same kind of prioritization or anything like that because, again, this is you receiving stock in, not having the stock go out, so there shouldn't be anything really to calculate in that sense. But hopefully these filters will just make things a little bit faster for you. Okay, so the next thing then, we've got updated customer and vendor pages. This again was another highly requested feature that people wanted in our web app that we had kind of already in the Windows app. So what this has actually done is we've added in the ability now when you're viewing your customer or viewing your vendor or anything like that to see the history that you've actually had with them. So like sales orders or your purchase orders, you can actually then open these orders from the list, which makes things really handy. And we've separated out the vendor products to have their own tab as well too, so that you can actually, again, kind of add those or see those a lot easier. So we'll just pull up my customer list here. And so again, I mean, we know Bruce Wayne has got some orders already. So we've, again, kind of moved things around a little bit. So we've taken some of the extra information, pushed it down, and then we've now got the order history tab on here so that you can actually see any of like the sales orders that we've got with them. What's nice then is you see this little box when I hover over them. If I click on it, it'll actually just open up a brand new tab with that sales order in it. So I don't have to, it hasn't closed this or gotten rid of it or anything like that. I can then see the order if I need to make any changes to it, anything like that, or I can just close it and go back really nice and quick.
Yeah, imagine if you see that you have any inventory picked and you can't find the order, just go to the orders that there. You have also the order history and the movements on the product page. You can go there and just open the order up, like manually, automatically, just clicking on that button and quickly arrange everything as you need. And I hope the sound is better now. And sorry for the testing.
No problem. Yeah, and I mean, again, like another great scenario would be like if a customer has a return or something, you pull up their account, you can easily find their order and pull open that last order or something like that. And then, so again, when we look in the vendors, we've again kind of separated it out and done the same kind of thing. We've got the tabs now, so we've got the vendor products where you can go in. These are the products that you normally purchase from that one. You can add them very quickly and easily on here just by picking whichever product you want. You can set in if they have their own product code for it, as well if you get like a special price for it or something like that from them. You can add it in there easily and save it. And then as well, we've got the order history. So again, you can go back and easily see any of the POs. You can see if you have balances still owing on them, what locations and stuff like that. And then you can also open them up, just like on the customer history as well too. And that'll open up again in a new tab. So that way you can do anything that you may need to with it and then close it out and you're still back at that vendor itself.
Phil, we actually have a pretty awesome question.
Sure.
Sterling is asking is there a way to quickly search or easily search for particular jobs in cost of good? The cost of goods of a particular job.
The cost of goods sold. That's a good question. I guess it depends on how you're looking at the cost of goods sold. In terms of like the actual like sales order lists or anything like that, we don't have a way of like searching to see like how much the cost of goods is on those. You'd have to be searching in some kind of a report to see that kind of information. In which case then you'd be able to pull it, I guess, based off of that, like sort it in that kind of way. So I know we have like the sales order profit report would show you like the gross profit, and I think you can put on the cost of goods sold for it as well. So you could generate like this kind of a report, and then you'd be able to actually see like the cost of goods sold per order, or anything like that, and that might then be able to help you get that kind of stuff.
Is there a way to? So probably Sterling is wondering if there's a faster way to see on a certain product. Pinpoint. Okay, pinpoint by adding a search bar.
It may be possible.
Right.
Definitely, we can use that as feedback, and we can report it back to the team and see. If you want to actually email us directly, support@inflowinventory.com. You can give us more information on it too, kind of like how it might work, and we can definitely pass that feedback along to the team. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so next up, we've got the order and movement history. This used to only be available on the Windows app, but now you can actually view your product's order and movement history in the web app, which is again is kind of like another really big thing that I know a lot of people were really asking for. And if you've kind of noticed the theme, then this is kind of a good thing that we're trying to make the web app have all the same kind of features that the Windows desktop app had, and that's kind of like one of our really big pushes and focuses this past year, getting any of all of that kind of stuff that's missing added into here. So again, here I'm able to go to my product list nice and easily. I can pick up any of my products. We've got the same kind of tabs like we have on those customer things. So again, we're kind of trying to make the web app uniform, have everything kind of very similar feel and look. But we've added in now the order history tab as well as the movement history so that you don't have to kind of run reports for every single thing to try and track down like where did the stock for this go, or how did this end up happening. You can filter on this by location when you're on your order history, so you can find if there is like a specific like location or anything like that that you're trying to find. Again, you can open up any of these orders just like everything else, that it'll open up in a new tab, which is great so you don't lose your spot. But another really cool thing actually in the movement history, so again, you can see the order, you can do all that. We have the quantity change on here. So we can see that on PO5 on January 2019 that I received 2. If I actually put my mouse on here, it'll hover over it. It'll actually show you what that change was. So it's going to show that I initially had 0 in stock, that this was a change of +2, and that I'm now at 2 stock total. So I don't know if I have something on here that I've used more. There we go. So like something like this, you can see my initial PO I ordered, I got 50 in stock, and then this sales order, I went from that initial amount of 50, took away 6 because it was picked for the sales order, so it left me at 44. So hopefully having this kind of more granular information available here in the web app will make tracking down your inventory a lot easier. So again, things like stock transfers or stock adjustments and stuff will show on here as well too, so that way you can kind of track everything a bit better.
Yeah, and also the color scheme will help you look for what you're looking for. If there's anything that's negative, so think, oh, I remember something went out, you always show like in red, so you can go straight to those, because now we only have these 2 examples, but when you have like 30, it's really useful.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't use this account as much, but yeah, there you go. So something like that, when you're seeing more options in there, then that's a great point. Yeah, you've got the red for the negative, green for your positive. So that'll definitely help out. Cool. If it's a serialized product, will the movement history show the serial number? I believe it does.
Yes,
I'm trying to
I believe
remember.
you do have to click something.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you
actually,
have to
so
click
this
that.
one here, my cyborg's arm, I've got serialized, which is a wonderful thing to keep serialized. You know, you got to keep track of those things, right?
Yes,
Which arm
very
for which
dangerous.
day. But yeah, you'll actually notice right on here. So not only is the column a little different, so it says serials right on it, and you can filter by it. So if you had a specific serial that you wanted to search for, you can. Otherwise, this anytime in the web app you see that this little, I know it may be hard to see. I'll try and zoom in. Anytime you see this little like square icon thing where it's multiple squares, that's like our symbol for serials. So this is actually then telling you, so here we go on this date, so March 30th 2020, the sales order was picked, it was CY0002 that went out, or like when I got it in, it was CY001. And so like I think if I filter this, and let's just filter by 02, we can see, so the purchase order that I received it on, CY002, was April 2019, and then I sold it, I sold it on March 20th. If you do click on it, it'll open up in a little bit bigger of a window too, so that you can kind of focus just on them. But again, yes, that way it'll show it in there so you can track your serials a little bit better. Cool. Chris, yes, the recording will be uploaded to YouTube later. We have actually a webinar page, webinar series. I can paste this in the chat there. Usually it takes a few days because we have to edit it and do stuff like that to put it on YouTube, but you can actually see all of our past webinars on here too. So
Yeah, work orders will be coming soon also to web. So web will, it's just becoming amazing, but it's not for this webinar. So we're
Yes,
sorry. But
it's not on this webinar. Unfortunately, it has not been released. I can tell you, and this is kind of a secret hush hush, little tease, whatever. It is well underway in terms of development. I have actually had my hands on a working version of it. I've been able to play around with it. We've made a lot of actually really cool improvements to it on the web app. So I think you're going to want to use the web app versus the Windows one, and it will be coming out very soon. I can't say exactly when because dates always change, but yes, definitely keep your eyes peeled because work orders will be coming very, very soon.
so Karan also not yet, but I do believe that is one of the changes that is programmed to happen. So you can make a sales order and a back order PO from a sales order. Yeah, that's in scope, but not yet. Also, a little more
Yes.
thing.
Yes, no, for sure. I mean, you got to imagine it's got to be super difficult for like the higher ups and stuff like that to kind of plan out how they, because we only have so many people. Like, actually, like I mean, we're a team of around like I think over 50 now, but 50 some odd people kind of thing, 60 maybe. And so I mean, the amount of projects, the amount of features, the amount of things like that, like it's definitely difficult to kind of prioritize that. But they are definitely doing their best, and all those kinds of things will be coming soon. This is actually another really recent update that we've done to the web app, but we have just recently released stock counts to it. So again, this used to be something that was only on the Windows app, that has now come into it. So I know a lot of people, again, you're obviously tracking your inventory. Stock counts are probably the easiest and best way to keep track of your inventory. I know a lot of companies do it differently. So some people will do different stock counts like quarterly. Some people will do them monthly. Some people will do them yearly. But we've tried to make this as accessible as we can and add some actual new features again for the web app that unfortunately the Windows app won't have now, where you can actually now split your counts into pages. So if you're counting a lot of different items and you want to maybe assign them to different people, so like Marcos, I want you to count like the front area or something like that. I'm going to count the back area or something. Instead of having to create different counts for that, we can actually now split it into different pages. We can assign them to different team members. The discrepancies will actually now show right away. Before on the Windows app, they would only show the discrepancies after you've like saved it kind of thing, once you've already adjusted it, which at that point it's not as useful. I mean, you can still see it, but if you wanted to make changes or something like that. And then each sheet will have its own remarks field. And one of the really, really cool things, and this, I think we're going to be expanding it to other areas of the program too, but it's really cool. You can actually see if multiple people are editing the same page. This is really important when you're doing stock counts because, again, if Marcos is counting, I don't know, like wires or something up in the front or whatever, and I suddenly jump onto there, we don't want to have like a conflict in terms of the numbers or anything like that. So we can actually show that off right now, which is definitely cool.
Go.
So in the inventory section, you'll actually see we have the new stock count and stock count lists down here. Again, keeping everything similar, we have the two different tabs. So we've got like an all section as well as like your current. So your current is going to be any of your open ones, as well as having like all the filters like we normally do. And yes, right now you can see I already actually have two different counts going. One you can see, so we've got a new column here, sheets, has 4 sheets on it, and one only has 1. If I go into this one here, count sheet 6, I can actually see, so we can set, it's not only got the location, it's got the date we've created it. Once we finish it, it's going to have the count when it's completed. I can assign the entire count to somebody on my account if I wanted to. As well, I can add remarks. This would be for like the overall count. But one of the really cool new things, as I was saying, that's been added is I can see, so I've got 4 different sheets on here. I see this little symbol here that's actually saying Marcos is active on this sheet. So I'll try and zoom in again, make that a little easier. But yeah, Marcos is active on this sheet. So he's actually working on sheet 1 of this count. And if I click on it, we get this big bright yellow warning in my face to hopefully make sure that I realize I am in view only mode. So right now I can see the products, but I can't like change or do anything like that because Marcos is currently working on this sheet. Again, we don't want those duplicates or like the things crossing over or anything like that. Now, again, we know mistakes and stuff like that may happen. Maybe Marcos went on lunch and he forgot his computer open or something like that, and he's not actually doing something. I can click on edit sheet. It's going to again warn me that I'm sure, are you sure I want to edit this sheet? Because again, if I save something and he hasn't, then it's going to overwrite his work, but I can hit continue. And then now I can actually do the things that I want to on here. So I can hit start counting. It'll open up. And here I can see my system quantities. I can now count in. And again, like how I was saying, you can see the discrepancies right away. So if I've only counted 2, I'm at a -3 discrepancy. If I get over there, then we're going to have a positive. And so you can then go through and actually do your whole count and then be able to complete and adjust it.
Yes, you can scan to count. If you have a USB, excuse me, a USB scanner linked to your desktop, yeah, you can. Or linked to your iPad, I believe. I've seen a test of it.
Cool. And yeah, so I'm just going to make a quick new one just so you can see kind of the process of how you're creating the count. So when you're creating it, you choose what location you want to be counting. I know I have the most products right now in my default location, so I'm going to go into there. Now, we've added in a few different ways that you can add your products to hopefully make this easier. So you can either add, if you just hit add products, you can then just do like your normal product picker and you can add any single one that you want. So again, this would just be the things that if you're wanting to add them like individually, you can add by category. So if I wanted to only count my chips or whatever like that, I can add them into something like that. Or you can actually add all stock at this location. So basically it's going to add every single thing that currently should have stock, whether it's positive or negative at that location, onto this sheet, which as you can see is pretty much all my products. Now again, this differs from the Windows program where we're now going to hit prepare count, and it's going to actually come up giving you 2 different options. So if you like the way that you currently do them or something like that in the Windows program, you can keep all of your products on that single count sheet. You don't have to split them up or do anything different like that. And this will just create one sheet that you can count everything on. Otherwise, you can divide your products across multiple sheets, and then you can specify how many you want per sheet. So this right now, if I have 15 per thing, it's giving me 4 sheets. Like if I put 50 on a sheet, then it's only going to be 2 sheets. I can hit continue, and this is then going to change it. And now you can see I've got 2 different count sheets on here. And I can actually assign them to different people. So I'll make count sheet 1 Marcos's, and I can, I closed that of it, and I'll go back to mine, and I can assign it to me. And then that way, we can see that. So now 1 is assigned to Marcos, 1 is assigned to me, and we kind of know which one that we're supposed to be working on. The other really cool thing, and actually, I see Marcos is already starting to get to work. He's popped in online there on it, so we can see that that he is that he's already starting to work on there. And see, it's updating in real time, showing the in progress, number of discrepancies, everything like that too. So again, and if I went onto there, I'm going to see that big warning to know not to make any changes to it or anything like that. So again, kind of a whole bunch of cool new features for the count sheets. Also, I can tease that we are working on mobile count sheets, and that will be also coming out very soon. It's not quite ready yet, but so we are adding the ability to do your counts from your mobile app as well, which will make things a lot easier because you'll be able to walk around and scan them with the camera, or if you have like our smart scanner, then you can also just push the button and scan them quickly that way or anything like that too. So that will be coming soon.
So no need for tricks, and having a phone as a USB scanner will be easier.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier kind of thing. I see Dilip was asking, when you print out the count sheet, will the pictures also print as well? So if I click on print, so at the moment it does not. It's just kind of like more like your checklist or anything like that. So it gives you like a little box for each counted quantity and discrepancies and stuff like that, but it does not show the pictures. That is good feedback though, so we'll definitely record that and let the team know that that would also be something that you'd like to be able to do.
Phil, Jim is saying that he would like to set a count sheet to sublocation, to a location and sublocation.
I don't think I have any sublocations on here. I can quickly test. So you can't currently select, I guess, by the sublocation. You can still add by them, and then you can choose which sublocation you want to be counting in terms of the actual like number or anything like that. But currently, it's still going to add by the main location, not the sublocation itself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, thank you, Phil.
Yeah, and yes, there are on the desktop app that there are still some slight differences in terms of like being able to do that. So again, that's something that they're looking at. I know, I'm pretty sure when we were talking about it, they were trying to do it, but at first they were getting really bad performance issues with it. It was getting really slow and really like kind of stuff like that. So it's something they're going to work on. So we'll probably have changes to that in the future, but they definitely don't want to release something that's not going to work well for. So yeah, our next topic on here, we got web stock adjustments. We added a few new features onto the web stock adjustments for this. So we've actually changed it. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but you now actually have a reason that you can pick on the adjustments. We've also changed it. You used to only have 3 custom fields available. You now have up to 10 on stock adjustments. And kind of a new and tricky thing for us on the support team at least, but you can now actually backdate the adjustments. So on the Windows program, you still cannot. The Windows program, it is locked to the date that you are actually making the adjustment on. But in the web app itself, if we go to create like a stock adjustment, so I can do a new one. Let's do it from my default location. So here you can see, so if we add in custom fields, I can go all the way up to 10 on here now. So we got a whole bunch of room if you have a bunch of different things you need to track. Again, we also have reasons. So these are the new things that we've put on there. So we've got some basic ones already like pre-populated for you, but you can create other reasons if you want. This is just another way that you can kind of track things. So again, like if you're writing off products, if it was a correction to your inventory or something like that, this just gives you a little bit more information on why the adjustment was made. And then, so if I add in a product or something like that, so here we can actually change the date on here. So let's say I actually meant that I got one more of this product back on August 1st. I can actually adjust it as of then, whereas on the Windows app, everything here, it's locked. So like I cannot change that if I wanted to. If I make an adjustment, it's going to do it as of today's date, kind of thing. So again, that can be useful for people if something happened that maybe you weren't able to update in the program right away or anything like that. So a good question, Karen. So if you update it, if you backdate it on the web app, basically it will still work in the Windows app. Like you'll still be able to see it. So if I go to my movement history, I'm going to see, where was it? So I just backdated that one to August 1st. And I can now see that stock adjustment in here for August 1st. So it will still show and it will still come up and everything like that. But basically just in the Windows app itself, you cannot adjust that date. So yeah, another thing. Oh, sorry. I see Derek. Not sure if this question has been raised, but curious to know when work orders will be available on cloud platform. So yeah, actually, Derek. So we were talking about that briefly before, but it is hot in development. It is almost complete, and within the next couple months, I believe you'll most likely have more information on that. But it will be very, very soon coming to the web app. So yeah, so the GTIN, I don't know, this might be one of those controversial things like GIF or GIF or anything like that. I don't know if it's pronounced GTIN or GTIN or GTIN, but I call it a GTIN barcode shop. We've actually partnered with GS1, which is a nonprofit company that has deals with a whole bunch of things worldwide, but one of them is actually distributing barcodes for very big, well, big and small companies all around the world. But essentially, it's a system that lets you buy a barcode that is then registered to specifically you. So only you can have that barcode if you want to then sell something online. That way, all the big companies use it, that like Amazon, Walmart, or any of those other big retailers. But essentially, inFlow has partnered with them that we are now able to actually sell GTIN barcodes. This again is only really important if you're planning on using the barcodes externally and selling them online on things like Amazon or like any of those marketplace websites and stuff like that. So you'd be able to buy these barcodes, purchase them, put them on your products, and then be able to sell them. And you know that it's always going to be that one. So if anyone looks up that barcode, it's that specific one. Now, with us, again, we're kind of focusing more on smaller businesses or anything like that. If you are like a large business and you actually have like hundreds and hundreds of products that you're buying these barcodes for, it's probably best to go directly to GS1 because you can from them buy like a yearly membership, I guess, with them, where you can actually purchase like the first 3 digits, so that the first 3 digits are like locked just to your company. So Walmart has their own, Amazon has their own, like Best Buy has their own. All of those companies have their own like 3 digits that it'll start with, and then the rest of the barcode just identifies their product. But through us, actually, so if you go to, I can grab this barcode and put it in the chat. That this one can actually, specifically from us, you can go in there, you can put in, so up to, you can buy up to 10 at a time from us directly. It's $30 US, but basically you would put in your brand name and then the description of your product. And once you purchase these, you'll get 2 different things. You'll get the UPC as well as the specific GTIN code that are then registered for those specific products themselves that you can then use to market your stuff online. We actually have a fantastic barcoding guide posted up on our blog that actually goes through like everything that you need to know about barcoding, and it does go through both using like barcodes internally or externally. So again, this would be the GTIN ones are if you wanted to use it externally. This is a fantastic resource. So if you have a little bit of time and you want to take a read through it, this goes through everything from how to barcode your products, why it helps, what kind of scanners and stuff you can use, like different things like that. And it kind of goes through even like the different types of barcodes there are and stuff like that. So again, very good resource that that hopefully can help any of you out. Cool. Yeah. No. I mean, we on the support team use all those kinds of resources and stuff all the time too. When everyone has those questions and stuff. So awesome. Let me just see. Okay.
I believe this is the first one, Derek. Derek was asking how many times do we have these kinds of webinars discussing the new features. I do believe this is the first one, right, Phil?
Yeah, well, so this is the first one that's kind of more general, where we're going over a whole bunch of things that have changed. We do have a webinar each month that usually, again, we kind of focus on like one topic, so like one big release or something like that. Like once manufacturing launches, I know we'll have a webinar dedicated an hour just to that. But we have like in the past, our integrations and different things like that and stuff. So again, if you go to our previous ones, you can see any of those. But yeah, if you guys like this kind of a format and stuff, definitely let us know too. Maybe we can make this a more common thing again once we kind of have a few things to update about. Again, a lot of these are cool changes, but they're I couldn't talk an hour about like GTIN barcodes or something else or whatever. So or at least I don't think you'd want to hear me drone on about it. So cool. So yeah, so one of the last things we're going to talk about, rename fields. While this has been something that's available for a very long time, I don't think a lot of people realize that we are constantly updating it. So this has always been a feature that we've had in the desktop program. So if you go down to options, settings, we have this big section here to rename fields. And pretty much in the desktop app, you can change almost any field and rename it to something that's like your company jargon, or again, like I know a lot of people use this for different uses. So maybe instead of a location, you want it to say lot or something like that. So we could make like a change. So if I go, oops, location, I can't type. It's going to come up with all the different things that location is showing in here, and I could change this to lot number instead. And so what it's going to do is it's going to show lot number where it would normally show location. Now, a really cool thing in the desktop program is actually we have this third column here, which if you hover over says applies to web app and mobile apps. So any of the ones with this check mark on here means that if I change it here, it's going to actually change on the web app as well. So if I save and close this and I go back to the web app and I refresh, I believe if I go to something like the products, here we go. Instead of saying location, it's now actually saying lot number instead, which is one of those changes that I made. Now, you can also do these changes on the web app itself by going to your menu. You go to options. You can either do it there or down here on the side. We have the rename field. And basically in here, we're only showing the fields that are specific to web and mobile. So any of the ones in here you can rename. And again, like if I type in location, excuse me, you'll see those same ones. And again, it's already got the change that I put in there. So lot number that I put, but I could also change like sublocation or any of those as well. So this will, again, we kind of update this every once in a while. It's apparently something that's not the easiest thing for our developers to change, but they do add to this list with every kind of few updates and everything like that. So, so yeah, and if there are other ones that you can't rename that you think would be really helpful, if you let us know, again, we can we track all that and can hopefully get that in another release.
Phil, we have a question from Siddharth, which is if there are any plans to have our own option for shipping information instead of using EasyPost. I don't believe so, but if you have any information.
Yeah, at the moment, not that I know of. We kind of chose EasyPost as it was kind of a very open system that would work with a lot of companies around the world. Unfortunately, they can't integrate with everything as well. So I do know, like I've heard of some shipping companies in Australia and stuff that they don't have an integration with, and a few others. In the future, I mean, it's possible, and again, we can definitely record any feedback or anything like that. But right now, that seems to be the main plans, I guess, that we have for shipping information. The only other thing, like, I mean, hopefully, you can manually add your shipping information to your orders as well, too. So I can quickly show that, like on let's pick a fulfilled order. Did I have shipping? I did have shipping on this. Fantastic. So I had a whole bunch of products go out. If I go to the ship tab itself, and I click on like details, so this will actually bring up the shipping details in here. I don't have EasyPost set up on here, so I could specify if I have like more than one box, what date it was shipped, what carrier it's going through. So like I can add in like UPS, and I could add in the whatever tracking number or something like that they use, and that way you can at least keep that saved on your order itself. And again, you can get to that either by clicking on like the little details thing, or at the very bottom there's view shipping details. And if you needed to add extra shipments or anything like that, then you can, but you would have to have specified in your pick. Oh, actually, sorry. In the ship tab, you can say which box number it's in. So, like, if these were in box number 2, then I could have a second box that could have shipped out through Purelator or something. And then have a different tracking number or anything like that. So, yeah, so you can manually do that as well. And hopefully that helps. I see we need something to add weights and dimensions to the sales order. Yeah, that's definitely great feedback that we can do. I mean, you can track some of it in custom fields or through remarks itself, but that would be like for the whole order, not the individual items or anything. And can you bulk upload shipping data? That's a good question. With the importing, I'm not sure if you can. Oh no, you would not be able to
Pick your
specify
box,
the
I
ship
believe.
data. Yeah, just because on the imports, unfortunately, you don't have the option to put the ship stuff. But that's again another piece of great feedback that we can put. Cool. So I think we're on to the last couple ones, but one of the new things that, again, a highly requested feature for the web app is we now actually, we just released this last week, so I don't know if many of you have seen, but we have a product picker for the web reports now. So this we can show off really nice and easily, but before, if I was pulling up like a sales order or like a sales report or something like that, I would just have to generate for everything in terms of all my products. You could obviously set filters for like dates and different things like that and stuff like that. But now we have this wonderful new filter for products where you can actually filter by, you can easily do it by categories. So these are my different categories, or you can go more granularly if you want. So like if I wanted only uh, a few different ones of these or something like that, then I could undo my other ones and I can regenerate the report to get only those specific products in my report. And there we go. So I've got them in there. I haven't sold them because I haven't used this account in a little while. But,
uh, I was looking forward for this one for a long time, honestly.
yeah,
I
no,
do.
it's been long overdue having something like this available. So, so we're very happy to have this out there. And again, this should be live for everybody right away. I believe it was last week we released this, and it should be available on any of the reports where products themselves, like where individual products or anything like that, are uh, like available or anything like that. Like obviously, like the summaries or stuff like that, where it doesn't go into the products themselves, it's not going to be on there. But everything else should, which is awesome.
Uh, okay, so there's a lot of questions. Let's
Sure.
okay. Let me see the last one.
Well,
So
I see one here from Alan saying, "Sorry if it's been asked, but what is the Windows version? Is it different than the web browser or the inFlow Cloud app?" So, essentially, the Windows version is if you go to inflowinventory.com/download. It'll take you to this wonderful little page where basically with the inFlow Cloud, we have three different ways of accessing it. So there is a inFlow Cloud for Windows program. So this looks like our more legacy software on premise, where it's an actual program you install on Windows. You can still access the majority of things that you can on the inFlow Cloud web app. So again, through like your web browser, but it does also have some kind of different functionality. So right now, the biggest thing is like work orders and stuff like that you can actually do through the Windows program, which is coming soon to the web app as well. But if this was a feature you needed to use, you'd have to install this program.
there is no extra fee. I hear some questions like that, but no extra fee for the programs. The
Yep.
license includes every service, including support.
For
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yep. So this is free to use. Again, it's the exact same information that you're accessing when you log into here. So there's no difference. And then we also have the mobile apps for both iOS and Android. Again, since we're storing all the information on our servers, these are just three different ways of kind of accessing that same information. I saw also, can you get a report of inventory that shows location and sublocation that includes filter for items?
Yes, we can do a
Movement history.
movement
Take a
history. Yeah,
quick look.
I believe you'll have all of them.
Not that one.
It's in audit log. Yeah,
Audit log, yeah. Probably details.
only details. Yeah.
So this gives you, yeah, so you can filter by sublocation.
And lot, which would be location.
Oh yes, because I renamed it. Very good. I was looking for it. I'm like, where is that? So yeah, so there you go. Under reports, the audit log, inventory movement details, you can select specific products, and then you can also do location and sublocation. But I renamed location to lot number. So give that one a try, Jennifer. Hopefully that one will help.
There was one just a little bit further back, guys. I think we might have missed that one for Noah.
Noah.
That's actually an interesting question. So we have a large kit of parts we sell, and it requires multiple boxes. But with only one item in the sales order, it's impossible to ship multiple boxes through Easy Post connection. Is there a workaround for this?
Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, in terms of Easy Post, I don't believe so, because when you do pull up like the integration or like the sales thing, it is going based off of the sales order lines. The only way I could kind of think is if you were to create either like a non-stock product or like a service item or something that you could assign like no cost to, so that you could add extra lines to your sales order. Then that way, when you are generating the labels, you can pick those different ones, say the specific weights and everything like that, and then just keep it all together. That way, you don't have to assign a cost to it or anything like that. So it's not going to affect like your cost of goods sold or anything, and it won't change your inventory levels, obviously. But it would just be one extra or however many extra items you need to add to that sales order. So you would just need to know ahead of time before creating the labels how many extra boxes you need or something like that. Cool. Okay. One other thing that we just recently added actually is a specific report for sales returns. So this used to be, I know we got a lot of questions about it where people, we didn't show returns actually on any of the reports themselves. So now in here under the sales, there is a specific sales return report that you can run. I don't think I've returned anything on this account, so this will probably come up with nothing. But this has actually just been. Oh, actually, okay, I have. So I lied in the past. But yeah, so this can actually show you then any of the ones that have been returned, how much they were, and you can put in different filters and everything based off of all the different things again, like products and your locations, your order dates, return dates, any of that kind of stuff as well. So this is kind of just filling in that gap that we realized we didn't have anything that was showing these. So hopefully this makes people's lives a little bit easier tracking that. Yeah. Oh, okay. And so I know we're getting there to time. So this is actually the last thing on our list. Thank you everyone for coming and bearing with us and everything. But custom reports. This is actually something that is kind of brand new. It's still kind of in development, so it's not like fully fleshed out or anything. But what is a custom report? So this is for all you people who are looking for specific information that you may or may not be able to get easily through the existing reports. We are working on building like a better system to create your own reports themselves, like maybe be able to pick the different information that you want really easily. But this is kind of like a temporary stopgap that will hopefully help, and actually has helped a few other people because I have talked to them and helped them with this kind of thing. But these are reports that can be specifically created just for you and just for your company or anything like that. It's $79 a month per your subscription per report. So if you needed a few extra ones or anything like that, then we would add that on a couple times. Now, one thing to note is that not all reports may be possible. It depends on how the data is stored in our systems, and some things that people want are calculated by the program itself, which I can't pull out of like that information from our databases and stuff. But basically, if there's some kind of reports or some kind of information that you really want that you either have a lot of hard time getting, like pulling from multiple reports or anything like that, if you reach out to your CSM or to any of us at support, so support at inflowinventory.com, we can take a look at it and let you know if it's possible and kind of show you like a sample of like what the information and stuff like that would look like from it. I have another account here that does have a couple on it right now, so you can actually see here in the web app that I have this new tab here, custom reports. So this will only show for people who do get one made. But basically, we can then generate it. You can pull it up into your web app itself and be able to do anything that you do with normal reports on it. So this one is like a report that shows all the products from each vendor with the current quantity available. So right now in the system, you can either see your vendor's products or you can see your inventory levels separately. This is actually bringing it both together. You can still print, you can still save them as like PDF, CSV. You can still add like different filters if they are on, like if they need them or anything like that. So again, this is something we're trying to help people to give you more options and make things available for you. So just reach out to us and we can definitely see what we can do. And I see everyone's comments in there saying that $79 a month seems like a lot. This is again kind of feedback that we need to go back and talk with the. I mean, again, we don't set all the rules and the different things for that in the company. So hearing this, we definitely hear you loud and clear. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you would be comfortable saying in there in the chat or anything what you think more reasonable price or anything like that would be. Again, this is something that we have to actually develop and put in there so that there is like an actual fee. And again, hopefully in the future we will be able to release a feature that will make it easier, that we wouldn't need something like this. But those kinds of projects are very difficult, very time consuming, and not only does it mean that we have developers working on that, that means they're not working on other things like bug fixes or any of these other new features or bringing features to the web app like manufacturing and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. I see a few other questions there. Sorry, before we do this, Jennifer is saying there's no way to extract our own data. Yes, you can definitely. There's lots of different ways. I mean, you can run any of the reports. You can save them in Excel format or a CSV format. You can export a lot of your information, so like products, customers, vendors, images, any of that stuff into CSV files as well. I saw Roland saying that he linked Power BI to the API for more tailored reporting. Which yes, is definitely not straightforward, but again, that's something that you can do if you have like a developer or something like that available to you. They can kind of work with our API to be able to get that information. So there are ways around that kind of stuff as well too. But again, not everyone has access to that kind of stuff. So this is again something that might be able to work in the intern. I mean, again, thank you everyone for joining us. Hopefully you learned something new from this. Again, I know it's not as exciting as some of the bigger features, but there are lots of cool little things that are always changing. So, yeah, I definitely hope that this helped.
Yeah, thank you all for the questions and everything, and rest of the good day to you all. Thanks.
Yes.
Man.
For sure. And again, anyone, if you have feedback or questions, I'm putting it in the chat. You can always email us, support@inflowinventory.com. We love hearing that feedback. We literally do record every single piece of feedback you give us. We actually have like an internal messaging system that we put it in there that we know both the co-founders look and they actually emoji every single piece of feedback. So they do take that to heart, and we do use that to kind of try and gauge like what projects should get prioritized over others and stuff like that. Just like the age-old saying, squeaky wheel gets the oil. So the more people that ask for something, the more likely it's going to happen. So, oh, perfect, Justin. Thank you for that feedback too. I see that talking about the custom reports, and either not a monthly, like paying once for it, or a lot less, like half of what it is, or anything like that. So, so I mean. And definitely, if the custom report is something that you're interested, reach out to either your CSM or to us at support, whatever. We may be able to see, again, I'm not sure, maybe we can do some kind of discount or something on the price of the report or anything like that, but we don't know unless people ask. So
yeah, this is still very testy. So
yeah,
let's keep the feedback coming.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, sorry we went a little bit over the time, but thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.